Hey, get money all day, get money all night. Sip my drink, ho, let's get right. Getting paid, I'm getting paid.
Hey, welcome in Cowboys Nation. It's your guy Ray, the host here on Ray Ray's Cowboys, and I am the host over at Ray Ray's Podcast. Hey, real quick, if you got a second, like, subscribe, follow, tap in to Ray Ray's Cowboys here. If you'd like to get your Cowboys content from me, which I would totally love that. And if you want to see stuff outside of the Cowboys world, go follow me over at Ray Ray's Podcast. It's where I interview entertainers, like celebrities, athletes, entrepreneurs. Go follow me over there, okay? And be looking out for my interview coming out with legendary sports personality Chris Arnold from 105.3 The Fan and the MC at the Mavericks game, okay? So, we just had week 2 of the preseason just wrap up last night. Cowboys lost 31-13 to the Ravens. So in this video, I'm gonna give my thoughts and some takeaways from this game. So no further ado, let's go dive right into it. All right. Again, like I said, if you got a second, like, subscribe, help your boy out. I greatly appreciate that. Follow me. I would love to be your source for Cowboys content, okay? As I get this channel up and running. All right. So let's talk about week 2 of the preseason, all right? Again, like I said, the Cowboys lost 31-13. But before we dive into it, I got a quote what the coach said. Coach Schottenheimer said, we're not pushing the panic button. We're pushing the work button. There's definitely a lot of work that needs to be done. Granted, like I said, it's still preseason. It really doesn't care about the wins and losses when it comes to preseason. It's really more about evaluating your talent, more specifically your depth. I think what hurt this team last year was our depth. When guys like Dak went down and other guys got injured, it really affected this team, along with the bad coaching we had last year. So you're trying to find those depth pieces on this team to help, when certain situations arrive. All right. So let's get into this here, okay? A couple things I've noted here. So let's start off with the starters for this game, okay? So we're gonna start on the offensive side of the ball. So starting at quarterback this game, we had Joe Milton, we had Miles Sanders at running back. Receiver, we had Jonathan Mingo, Jalen Cropper, and Jalen Tolbert. Left tackle was Nate Thomas. TJ Bass at left guard. Cooper Beebe started at center, so he got some reps. Tyler Booker, our first round pick in a draft. They gave him some burn over there at the right guard position, but they wanted Cooper Beebe to start with him, so those two can kind of get that communication down and get that familiarity playing, in live game reps. Okay, then over at right tackle we had Hakeem Adinji that started. Okay, on the defensive side of the ball, our starters were Sam Williams, Mozzie Smith, Perrion Winfrey, Marshawn Nealon. You also had Damone Clark, Maris Leafau, Jack Sanborn at the linebackers positions. There, and in the secondary, we had Marquise Bell, Wanye Tommins, Kyer Elam, and Andrew Booth. And we're going to dive in about Andrew Booth later on in this video, okay? So I wrote down some notes here. And y'all tell me what y'all think about it. Be sure to always comment, in the comment section. Interact. Tell me what you think about, some of the things I'm saying. You agree, you disagree. I love the banter. It's Cowboys Nation. We can always agree to disagree, but as long as we love the Cowboys, right? All right. So a couple notes I have. Okay, like again, Cowboys lost 31-13. Let's talk about the time of possession real quick. Baltimore had the ball for 40 minutes and 11 seconds. Dallas only had it for 19 minutes and 49 seconds for the time possession, okay? Dallas gave up 4 sacks. We only had 7 first downs compared to 26. The Ravens had 26 first downs against us to our 7 first downs. Third down conversions. We converted 2 out of 11 third down conversions, all right? While Baltimore converted 8 out of 17 third down conversions, all right? Pretty even on the penalty side. I'm not going to really dive into that, okay? One of the things I do want to talk about is Jonathan Mingo. Jonathan Mingo He's been having a great camp. Unfortunately, he left the game banged up. They said the Cowboys fear wide receiver Jonathan Mingo suffered an injury on the posterior circuit ligament in his right knee. So according to multiple sources, that's according to multiple sources there, right? He set for MRI today to determine the severity. But he could need some time. He could lose some time, so that could affect the way this Cowboys roster is shaped when they go to that 53-man roster, especially if they had to put them on one of those injury lists to start the season, like if he has to go on IR or something like that. That can make way for the Cowboys to maybe add Trayshawn Holden, Jalen Brooks, or Ryan Flanoy to this roster. Either two of those good names could make it while they put Mingo on the IR or whatever designation they would do for that, depending the severity on this, which hopefully we'll find that out later today. And once I find that out, maybe I can get that updated for y'all as well. Okay, so that's one note. Okay, everyone is ready to hit the panic button on Joe Milton. It has not been two good preseason games for him, but people got to remember he's only played 3 or 4 NFL games, including these last two. So, I mean, what do you expect? I think he has potential there. I think he has a good ceiling, but he's still working it out. He hasn't had a lot of action, and he hasn't played a lot in college as well either. So he's still figuring things out. I think he has the natural talent to do some of these things, but it's all about figuring it out, putting it all together. Which to me, I'm not 100% sure if the backup quarterback is on this roster. I don't know if the Dallas is going to be looking at the waiver wire when these teams have to cut down for another quarterback to bring in here. Um, I'm not sold. Will Griller, I mean, he's not bad, but I mean, I don't know. I still think there's question marks at that backup quarterback position. We played against Cooper Rush yesterday, and we saw what he could do. He wasn't the greatest talent in the world, but he could come in and be serviceable and win games. So whoever our backup is going to be, we kind of need to fill up that role that Cooper Rush had, and in big situations, Cooper Rush is, he won for us. I believe his record as a starter here in Dallas, Cooper Rush was 9-5. That's basically what every 2 out of 3 games he won, essentially. So, Cowboys, we got to get some of that. We got to get that stabilized, that backup position. Okay. So let's talk about some other couple notes here. Okay. Starting off the game, offense, it started off poor. Um, no other words to sugarcoat. It just started off poor. Okay. Um, that first drive, we had a safety. Okay. You really get to see much from Miles Sanders. He carried the ball twice that first opening drive. Not good runs, but again, it's preseason. Your starters aren't out there, so how can we really judge that? So we got to give them the benefit of the doubt on that. Okay. Like I said, started off with a safety on that drive. One of the things I thought was really interesting to me too, that we got to see. I don't know if they did it last game, was the virtual measurement. So like measuring if, how short they were. That was kind of really cool, interesting to see. Which I'm kind of interested how how accurate that's going to be, but it was really cool to see. That's something that stood out to me. Okay. So let's talk about after the first quarter of this last couple of games. All right. So in 2 games so far this preseason, after the first quarter, the offense had 1 yard, 1 total yard after the first quarter against the Rams. This game, -1 yard of total offense after the first quarter. So the Cowboys have to figure out how to get in there and get points on the board early and finish drives. Um, if the season's like this, you're gonna be playing from behind the whole time. But granted, this is just preseason. We're looking at those depth pieces, but that's still something worth to note. Um, you gotta get out there. You gotta get some things moving. Okay. Um, so from the offensive side of the ball, this game went too much. Run really too much to look at. All right, I think we had 6 total six different people rushing the ball for only a total of 51 rushing yards. That's not great. Again, like I said, this is only preseason, but for six guys rushing the ball to only have collected 51 rushing yards, that's it's got to be worked on. Okay. Okay, let's talk about the defensive side of the ball. Okay. Some I think that's where more of our standouts in this game were on the defensive side of the ball. Let's start with a guy. I think he had a really great game, Damone Clark. And not only did he have a great game, I feel like that position group, uh, it's going to be great. That linebacker position group, I think it's going to be really good. All right. So Damone Clark, he had six tackles, and man, he was all over the place. I really enjoyed seeing what I saw from Damone Clark. Another guy I really like seeing, Shamar James. He had five tackles in the game. He was all over the place. He flashed. I think he's making a case for himself to make this roster. Um, Lamont Hall, yeah, he had a pretty decent game too. He had six tackles with that interception he had as well too. And I think another guy is trying to make a case to be on this roster, and that's Andrew Booth. Everyone like to make fun and talk about Andrew Booth, but this game he had seven tackles. He had an INT. I don't know. I think he's working hard to try to get position on this team. Because that cornerback room, there's still a lot of uncertainty because with all those injuries, with Trevon Diggs, Savon Revel, still injured, Josh Butler's injured. So the guys you need to play early on in the season, he's fighting to be one of those guys. So it's going to be interesting what we see in this last preseason game against the Atlanta Falcons. Um, if the Cowboys decide they want to throw some attention over at that cornerback, whether that make another trade or sign a veteran, uh, that could be a question mark going for that cornerback room. But Andrew Booth did put up some fight in this game and was active, trying to make his case to try to make this roster. Okay. Um, Another guy that flashed out to me, they played a sample size. Jack Sanborn, I think he's gonna be a great linebacker here for the Cowboys. Um, there was a play where Mozzie ate up a gap, and Sanborn was able to get in there and just really get the hit the ball carrier. I think behind the line of scrimmage and just really attack. He looks like a good linebacker, especially stopping that run. So, like I said, I'm very excited about that linebacker group. James Houston, man, he's fighting for a roster spot too, man. He was out there, he was getting active, he was getting pressure, so he's making it hard for this Cowboys front office and coaches, to figure out this 53-man roster. So those are some of my takeaways from this week 2 preseason game. Tell me what y'all thought or on this week 2 preseason game. Comment that below. Again, if you got a moment, please like, share, subscribe, tap in with me. I'm still growing this channel. I'm still getting my feet wet with this channel, man. I would love y'all support. I'd love to be the one y'all get y'all Cowboys content from. But always just remember, you're beautiful, you're loved, you're needed, you're alive for a reason. Always, always remember this. Go Cowboys. And I'll see you next time, all right? We out.
Hey, get money all day, get money all night. Sip my drink, ho, let's get right. Getting paid, I'm getting paid.